making a change there. So what will be your strategy?
Well, you know, my strategy is just to continue to be truthful with the people of the state of New York. I think it's refreshing when they feel they're being told the truth. I think for too many years they feel that their elected officials have not told them the truth. I live in a Democratic county. Richmond County is 5 Democrats, every 3 Republicans. Yet my last time that I ran for office, I achieved 68% of the vote. Democrats vote for me, independents vote for me, non-affiliated voters vote for me, and I think they just vote for the person, particularly in the Attorney General's race, where I think people look at the Attorney General as the most unpartisan and nonpartisan position. I think Democrats, independents, non-affiliated voters feel very comfortable voting for somebody who's a Republican for Attorney General because they're looking for law and order.
And as I know, I look into your experience. Actually, you did lots of good things. But on the debate, I don't think you mentioned too much. And the other thing is, on the debate, Mr. Schneiderman actually forced you to answer embarrassing questions, like first, like about your donation.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's not embarrassing. When people donated money at that time, it was a proper donation. I was fortunate enough not to have a primary, and we give the money back when somebody gave more money than is permitted for a general election. So that's not embarrassing. And he was when he answered. I answered every question that was given.
So did you return yet for those?
It's being returned, or it has already been returned. Our next filing is October next week, and it's reflected in the next filing.
And the other thing, we also try to ask you to answer this question: what is your comment on Mr. Palladino?
And I've been very cautious. We have ethical boundaries as a sitting district attorney to comment on anybody else's endorsing somebody else's race, or certainly I'm afraid that if somebody asked me one day who did I vote for in the Republican primary, and I said even though that's not an endorsement, people might interpret that if I said I voted for Bobby, that would be an endorsement of him. So I'm very cautious of what I say. I've been asked about the emails that were sent out, and at the time I was asked, I had never seen the emails, so I said I can't comment on something I haven't seen. I was asked so many times about that my campaign actually then showed me the emails, and I said, these emails, regardless of who sent them out, are offensive to the people that they're directed at, and they're also offensive to anybody who sees them. I was asked about someone's comment about Speaker Silva, and I said that statement, and I forget what the actual statement was, but I said that statement, that derogatory statement, is not my impression of Speaker Silva. And then recently I was asked after a meeting last weekend with some rabbis in Brooklyn last week, I was asked about comments that were made about the gay community. And my reaction was that we need tolerance in our state to everybody, regardless of their religion, their sexual orientation, their race, or their ethnicity. And that's what I preach, tolerance. So I didn't speak about any individual person, but the statements that were made, I commented on.
Dan, do you regret not saying something sooner about those emails?
No, I hadn't seen them.
But I mean, trying to get them. I mean, a couple weeks went by, I feel like.
Yeah.
And
you know, I was trying to run for Attorney General, and I really didn't care about somebody else's emails. And so, but you guys kept asking so much about it, I finally looked at them. Just so I could put it behind us. But I really didn't go on the internet and look for the emails, and my campaign wasn't really concentrating on someone else's emails. They were concentrating on my election. So I don't regret it. I just hadn't seen them, and I was being, again, as the young lady asked me, I was being truthful and honest. I hadn't seen them. It was hard for me to comment on something I hadn't seen. But after I saw them, I commented.
You're pretty quick with the statement after the remarks to the rabbis in Brooklyn last weekend. Do you have any response to the apology that Mr. Palladino?
People will have to judge whether or not they feel the apology was warranted, whether it was sincere, whether it was a regretful thing. Bobby, I don't have any statement about that. But we made a statement after the day after the reports of the statement. We had just had an incident, 3 heinous crimes. People were attacked in the Bronx. And our fear is always that someone gets incited for another attack. And as a public safety officer, public safety is my first concern. So again, you know, I've been a preacher of tolerance, and I thought it was important to make that statement for public safety reasons, not because any one individual said it. We would have come out with a statement no matter who said it.
You talked about this earlier on the conference call. I just wanted to get you again on the responding to the article in the Times today about the donations from Paul Singer. And is there going to be, is there a concern that there might be undue influence on you and your policy when it comes to regulating?
I don't think there's any concern at all. You have to look at my record as district attorney of Staten Island for 7 years, and there's never been any undue influence in any of my decision making as the chief law enforcement officer of Richmond County, and there'll never be any undue influence in my decision making as Attorney General.
And you said earlier when somebody gives you money, you tell them not to.
Oh yeah. No one should give me money thinking that they're going to get special treatment because they made a donation. They could save their money if that's what the reason they're giving it. I think most of the people, I think all the people who have given me money believe that I'm a good candidate for Attorney General and they'd like me to help try to turn the state around and fight public corruption. I don't think there's anybody who's giving me money because they think they can have influence over my decision making, because they're going to be very disappointed if that's the reason they gave me money.
Why do you think there have been so many attacks recently of the bias crimes and that kind of thing?
Can we ask more questions? Because we actually have a second meeting to do, and then we'll
Sure.
answer in a second. Sorry, we have another.
No.
With some other